Okay, well, so far so good. So we have a basic physical design, but we're not done yet. We need to talk about how to get organized.
How to make it work, how to
Right.
make it work. First of
Yes.
all, remember, imagine now 3 tables, or one long table, one person at the end, one person in the middle, one person at the other end, right? That person at the end has a sewing machine. She is in charge of doing some of the cutting and some of the initial sewing. Goes to the person in the middle who's going to pin up a storm, and then give it to the final person at the end who's going to finish the sewing and toss it in the basket, right? So if for whatever reason, and this is bound to happen in some cases, the person pinning happens to be very fast, well, don't pile up a ton of masks for the person doing the final stitching, right? What you want to do here is to try to keep a balance to make sure that at the end you have all the masks you need, and you do that at a constant, consistent pace. Now, it doesn't mean slow down. It means when you reach a certain number, don't go over that number, help out the next person. So set yourself a limit. We would recommend 5 masks between each station. So you have station 1, 5 masks. Station 2, 5 masks. Station 3. So that's a way to maintain that balance and make sure that we all in this line have a consistent, sustainable pace throughout the day. And at the end of the day, you will have your 100. Actually, my money is on you'll beat it. Now, also, so that is how to keep the volume going. Second, and very important, check your own work. If you make a mistake, don't pass it on. Before you pass it on, remember you have 5 ahead of you. The person next to you is not going to be waiting. So look at it, make sure, double check everything, make sure that your work is all good, then pass it on. Does that make sense? So don't pass on mistakes. Now, also, when you receive the work from the prior person to you, spend the next 5-10 seconds looking it over, making sure that whatever you receive is of good quality, so then you can do your work. So you check what comes to you, you check what gives to somebody else. And if you run into an issue, you find a mistake, stop, fix it, and then move on. So those are the 4 key issues we want to address. Don't pile them up, right? Set up a limit, 5 between each station. Second, check your own work. Third, check the work coming to you. And finally, if you run into a problem, stop, fix it, then move on.
Okay, beautiful. And that's exactly, by the way, what Toyota does as well. They spend a lot of time training their people, and every worker on this assembly line, which is kind of a heresy in some places, but every worker has the freedom to pull the cord and stop the line, right? And if there's an issue.
We don't know this from books. We teach classes at Toyota several times a year. So we didn't read this in articles. We are there.
Yeah, we've seen those lights go on and the music start playing. Okay, now one of the beauties of working in a team is that you can come up with ways to do it better. It's a natural outcome of working as a team where you're sharing problems and building these products. So there are a couple areas of potential improvement, especially with a product like this. One is, can we make that product better? And you'll see this even in Victoria's videos. She came out with the initial YouTube video and then came out with a new improved version of that same product based on feedback that she got. And then we can talk about how to make the process better. In other words, how to do a better job of building them, even if we're not changing the product itself. So we just threw some ideas out here for what we've seen on the internet, on YouTube, for things that are actually being done, or different styles of masks that we might want to think about incorporating into our product. Not in this design, but for future reference. So one of them is adding another layer. This particular design was really designed to go over an N95 mask. and it only has 2 layers of material, but it would be very simple actually to add a 3rd layer of some kind of filtration type material. Or point number 2 here, add a pouch or a pocket where you can insert. You have one of those, Gerard, right?
Here's my mask. This is the mask I use, and it came with a couple of these filters that go into this pouch right here. So just another idea. They don't look that difficult to put together.
Right. Another big complaint with these homemade masks is the elastic. You know, some of us have bigger heads or smaller heads or big bushy beards, and one size doesn't necessarily fit all. In other words, some people complain about it hurts their ears after a while, maybe because the elastic is too small. So having some kind of adjustable elastic would be a great improvement. And your mask has that as well, right?
Yeah, mine has this little plastic bushing. I don't know if you can see it there, that allows you to adjust the loop. So if you can put those, yeah, that's another potential improvement. Mine came with that, and I'm calling it bushing, but you know, I think it's doohickey.
Well, grommet,
like that.
Yeah. And when you look on YouTube, you see a lot of attractive floral designs,
patterns,
yeah. And which look very attractive. But I'm not sure they're going to survive a bleach cycle, you know, in the washing machine. So it's something to at least think about. Your beautiful flowers might be a little faded after a while if they're going through a heavy-duty wash.
It is unlikely that you will have a UV oven, or you're going to be able to reprocess these using hydrogen peroxide or any chemical. So these are not intended for extended clinical use, right? So think about getting these, putting them through the washing machine with bleach, and they will come out again clean. So that's the plan for these.
Okay, so let's look at things that you might consider to improve, not the product, but the process itself.
Yes, a couple of things to consider. You notice that on that first layer of work on station 1, that person had the cutting included. What if that cutting was done by another volunteer that piles up the different layers in you know, we started with 2 layers of fabric, maybe all the 3 layers with a felt layer in the middle, and you start from there. That would definitely cut some time and will allow you to increase your volume. There is a good chance that will require some rebalancing, moving work up or down. That works too. And there may be some additional work for some of these stations, some things that you realize make the work on this line better. Like, for example, on number 4 there, instead of using pins, you may want to go to staples, but the staples have to be removed. What if you use clips? We found another video where one of the folks making masks was using clips, and that seemed to work pretty well. What if for the 100 line with the 1 sewing machine at the end, what if you put 2 sewing machines in case the pinning person, the prep person in the middle, it gets ahead, can move into another workstation that you would have 2 parallel workstation 3 and accelerate the work. So those are some of the options, some of the things for you to consider. And trust me on this, once you start working, you will come up with those ideas. We just came up with these brainstorming based on experience, but I can guarantee, work on this line for a day and you will come up with even better ideas.
Beautiful. So I think we're reaching the end here. We've given you hopefully some good ideas. These are things that you can go and implement pretty quickly. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of equipment or infrastructure or work benches that are special. You know, it's something you can do very quickly.
Yeah, many hospitals have volunteers wanting to help out. Set them up in one of the classrooms with the classrooms that most hospitals have, the tables, have the volunteers bring their sewing machines, set up a large table for cutting all the patterns, and go to town.
Yep. And we want to emphasize that this isn't just some kind of toy example, but it's actually the same process, although more complex, that leading companies would use themselves. So when we get hired to design a line, this is very similar to what we'd be doing, except a much higher level of complexity when you have different processes, different products, et cetera, that have to all kind of be combined along the same line. Another great benefit of working this way is it's more fun to work in a team. You have a little group. You can even give the team names. You can even have a friendly competition between teams, give them special T-shirts. You know, there are a lot of fun things you can do. And then the satisfaction of working with other people and doing problem solving as a group is a lot more fun than sitting at a sewing machine and trying to crank out as many masks as you can just by yourself.
And we are at a time where building a sense of community matters. We are, some of us feeling pretty isolated and feeling that you're part of something because you're next to someone. That helps. Always respecting social distancing measures.
Okay. So basically, just picture trying to build hundreds of different masks and different styles on the same line. That's our life.
That's us. Yeah.
But in principle, it's very similar to what we just shared with you. So if you want to read more about this, find out more about this idea of lean manufacturing, you can go to a website, leandesignstudio.com. There's an information page that will open up, and you can read a little bit more about what we do and how to learn more about this if you're interested yourself, and continue this journey. And by the way, if you do go further with this and start implementing some of these ideas, let us know. We'd be happy to give you feedback, help, and we want to hear what you're working on as well. So so please don't be shy about sharing what you're doing with us. We'd like to know that.
If you do, please get yourself another volunteer to take a video and post that video. We gotta see it. You're doing it.
Right.
We know how it works. We've seen many lines. That's how we make our living. But we would love to see you folks building masks in the most effective and fulfilling way that is possible.
Okay, so with that, I think we're done.
Yes, we are.